Translator, Reverie, Editor, Kurisu. The martial Dao and the pill Dao were one and the same. Both demanded years upon years of bitter tempering, step by step, to climb toward the summit. Moreover, in the art of alchemy, there was no shortcut that could truly hasten such progress. In this world, there existed spirit medicines and spirit fruits. Swallow a stalk or a slice, and one's cultivation might surge, forging a fearsome expert in a single night. Yet there absolutely was nothing so heaven-defying that could make an alchemist's technique soar by leaps and bounds within mere days. Even with the existence of strange fires, which allowed low-tier alchemists to refine higher-tier medicinal pills, one still required sufficient comprehension of the pill Dao to accomplish it. One could not ascend the heavens in a single bound. Ling Han was not yet 20, and yet he was already a medium-level black-grade alchemist. This had to be a jest. If such a monstrous genius did not have his name spread across the lands, how could they possibly have never heard of him? Humph, I almost got deceived by you. You actually dare impersonate an alchemist. How dare you? Cheng Fei-jun threatened coldly. His younger brother had been seized, and even had one of his arms severed earlier, leaving him boiling with fury. Ling Han laughed with utter indifference, pointed at his own chest, and said, "Open your filthy eyes and look clearly. Does this look fake? Filthy eyes?" Everyone's mouths twitched. He actually dared to curse a high-level black-grade alchemist like that. This fellow truly had guts that pierced the heavens. "Youngster, hand over your alchemy master certification for inspection." Qian Xing, one of the spiritual pedestal tier warriors, spoke toward Ling Han. Badges could be forged, but alchemy master certifications could not. Upon it was complete information that could be checked and verified at once. Cheng Fei-jun sneered and said, "So what, even if you are a medium-level black-grade alchemist, you still have to listen to my orders?" Ling Han waggled a finger and said, "With which ear did you hear me say I'm a medium-level black-grade alchemist? You're an idiot as expected." Ignoring Cheng Fei-jun, who was already about to explode with rage, he produced a third silver badge and pinned it upon his chest. 3 silver badges, the same as Cheng Fei-jun. Impossible! The same 3 words echoed in everyone's hearts. There definitely did not exist such a young high-level black-grade alchemist. "Ha!" Cheng Fei-jun sneered, for he had already stopped believing the moment Ling Han produced the second silver badge. "Ha!" Qian and Yang, the 2 formidable spiritual pedestal tier cultivators, were startled for an instant, as though recalling someone all at once. "Bullsh. You think wearing 3 silver badges can make you pass as a high-level black-grade alchemist?" The bootlicker who had flattered Cheng Fei-jun earlier immediately sprang out, pointing and shrieking sharply at Ling Han. Ling Han sighed and said, "Haven't I mentioned that I hate it the most when others point at me?" "Youngster, you're surnamed Ling?" The spiritual pedestal tier warrior surnamed Qian suddenly interjected. "Ling!" Cheng Fei-jun's expression changed in an instant as a name flashed through his mind. "Ling Han! You're Ling Han!" His face was filled with seething rage. Half a year ago, he had advanced to high-level black-grade, setting the record in the desolate north. A 30-year-old high-level black-grade alchemist, placed within a vast domain like the North region, was extraordinary, and very few could surpass him. Yet his complacency lasted only a handful of months. Very quickly, another young genius emerged from nowhere and became a high-level black-grade alchemist. Moreover, that genius was younger than him, so young that he could scarcely believe it. 17. At first, even several people in the Star Brilliance Palace Hall doubted whether it was true, let alone him. However, with Fu Yuan Shen's own handwritten letter and the joint guarantee of many medium-level black-grade alchemists, people could only accept it. From that point on, Cheng Fei-jun hated Ling Han for stealing his glory. Otherwise, he would have held the radiance of being the youngest high-level black-grade alchemist, and how dazzling would that have been? This detestable fellow stole his limelight, and today he even ran to his territory, injuring his younger brother and trampling his face in public. He absolutely would not permit it. I am Ling Han. Ling Han produced the crystal that could prove an alchemist's status. Origin power poured within and in an instant formed a curtain of light that clearly displayed Ling Han's alchemy master level, the time and place he broke through, As well as the witnesses present at that moment, everyone cried out, because this had happened only 1 or 2 months ago, and most people still did not even know of Ling Han's existence. They could not help but stare blankly at him, too young, so young that people could not accept it. Cheng Fei-jun, a 30-year-old high-level black-grade alchemist, already astonished people whenever they saw him, drawing deep sighs at just how young he was. But what about Ling Han? 17? 18? Heavens! First, let go of my younger brother. Jun said, teeth clenched so hard they nearly shattered. Ling Han laughed lightly and said, you say let go and I do so. Then what face do I have? Ling Han? Cheng Fei-jun's eyes erupted with flames. What exactly do you want? At this moment, Qian and Yang, the two spiritual pedestal tier warriors, merely sat aside and watched. Whether it was Ling Han or Cheng Fei-jun, both were high-level black-grade alchemists, both had boundless prospects and equal status, so it was not worth offending either. Ling Han laughed. You finally asked the main point. This guy has, well, obviously committed countless vile deeds, but I just arrived, so I'm not clear on precisely how vile, nor do I have the effort to investigate. However, it is the truth that this guy tried to kill me. Yes, actually thinking of killing an alchemist. That's the death penalty. I'm not wrong, right? If my younger brother didn't know your status, this crime can be forgiven. Cheng Fei-jun immediately said. You say it can be forgiven, so it's forgiven? It's not like you were the one threatened by this scum, Ling Han mocked. No need to trouble the Star Defense Force. This person conspired to kill an alchemist. I declare immediate execution. You dare! You dare! Cheng Fei-jun stamped his feet and said sternly, Ling Han, you're going to make an eternal enemy out of me? Who the hell are you? Ling Han sneered, his expression dripping with disdain. You dare insult me! Cheng Fei-jun was stamped with fury, the veins on his neck twitching violently. I won't lower myself to your level. Hurry up and let go of my brother. Ling Han laughed loudly and said, I discovered you have quite the comical talent, but unfortunately, I don't appreciate it at all. He shook his hand, and instantly a long sword appeared from thin air. As a high-level black-grade alchemist, he no longer feared people learning that he possessed a spatial ring. Older brother, save me! Save me! Chen Kaifu immediately sensed Ling Han's murderous intent and began flailing and screaming. However, his arm had only just been reconnected. It could not withstand such violent movement. So, with a pa, the arm fell straight from his shoulder, fresh blood gushing out in torrents. Without even heeding his cries of pain, Ling Han had already struck, slicing open his neck. Blood gurgled within Cheng Kaifu's mouth as it poured out fiercely, and he reached toward Cheng Fei-jun, but his arm only rose halfway before drooping weakly to the ground. Brother, Cheng Fei-jun shouted grimly, eyes blazing like fire. Ling Han, I swear one of us will die! Ha! Ling Han shrugged with indifference and said, I'll wager that later you'll kneel properly before me and call me Master Ling. Bullsh! Cheng Fei-jun spat out, him kneeling before the man who killed his brother, to be humiliated so? Impossible. How about it? Want to bet? If you win, I'll give you my strange fire, and conversely, you must give your strange fire to me if I win. Ling Han finally revealed his true motive. Translator, Reverie Editor, Kurisu Cheng Fei-jun stood merely at the 7th layer of the gushing spring tier. By ordinary reason, he could at best temper a medium-level black-grade medicinal pill. Yet since he could truly be acknowledged as a high-level black-grade alchemist, it proved beyond doubt that he had fused with a wisp of strange fire, thus forcing a breakthrough. Ling Han possessed a sphere of strange fire himself, and he would not mind at all letting this wisp make his own blaze even more tyrannical. Cheng Fei-jun's gaze sank into shadow, and in the set of his face one could see he was stirred. Ling Han surmised that, since he himself held strange fire, then Cheng Fei-jun could likewise hold it, especially when Ling Han's cultivation was even lower, only at the 1st layer of the gushing spring tier. If Ling Han did not have this strange fire, then what right would he have to be called a high-level black-grade alchemist? When the time came, he need only request a re-examination. If Ling Han could not refine a high-level black-grade medicinal pill, then he would naturally be stripped of that corresponding alchemist rank. If Ling Han's alchemist level fell short, he could then seek methods to slowly kill Ling Han. The hatred of his slain brother made it impossible for them to share the same heavens. Ling Han had to die. Fine, I'll take the bet. He ground his teeth together. There was no way he would believe that something like him kneeling to pay respects would ever happen. There was only one possibility, and that was Ling Han advancing into the Earth grade. The question was, could it be done? I'll ask a few masters to be notaries, Cheng Feijun added, fearing Ling Han might turn dishonest after losing. Ha ha ha, I'm also afraid you'll turn dishonest. Go ask them. Ling Han laughed aloud. Seeing Ling Han so certain, Cheng Feijun could not help feeling a faint jolt within. Could this fellow truly advance into the Earth grade? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. A 17-year-old Earth grade alchemist. That was nothing but a dream. Besides, the most crucial point was that, for alchemists above the black grade, the materials had to be personally prepared for qualification. How precious were Earth grade materials? He would not believe Ling Han had prepared them, because this was clearly a sudden incident. So even if Ling Han truly had the ability to charge into becoming an Earth grade alchemist without the corresponding materials, what could he possibly do? With that thought, Cheng Fei-jun steadied his heart again, hastily having Qian Xing, the spiritual pedestal tier cultivator, go request several Earth-grade alchemists to take up the matter as notaries. Originally, a wager between two black-grade alchemists would not possibly alarm Earth-grade alchemists, yet both were far too young, with prospects without end, almost certain to become Earth-grade alchemists in time. Thus, the Earth-grade alchemists were willing to give them face, and also to watch for amusement in passing. There were 3 Earth-grade alchemists in the Star Brilliance Palace Hall, but all were low-level Earth-grade. Medium and high-level Earth-grade alchemists could never appear in such a small place as the 9 nations of the desolate North. In the entire North region, not a single Heaven-grade alchemist could be found. These 3 Earth-grade alchemists were Long Yongjiang, Li Siyuan, and Yun Xingxian, and all were in the spiritual pedestal tier. The youngest among them was 60, yet this was still an alchemy prodigy because he completed the leap into Earth grade in his 50s. It was exceedingly difficult. Unfortunately, without stepping into the flower blossom tier, his lifespan was limited, so there was likely no hope for him to grind his way to medium level in this lifetime. My respects, 3 masters! When these 3 appeared, everyone bowed one after another. Even Cheng Fei-jun was no exception. In the alchemy world, if alchemists were of the same grade, yellow grade, black grade, earth grade, heaven grade, then the lower level one needed only to pay respects by cupping his hands when meeting a higher level colleague of the same grade. However, if it was a grade's difference, then even a high-level black-grade alchemist had to offer the deepest respects upon encountering a low-level earth-grade alchemist. Such was the rudimentary etiquette. Before breaking through to earth grade, even one as arrogant and conceited as Cheng Fei-jun had to be most respectful before the 3 great alchemists. Only Ling Han did not move. Upon seeing this, Cheng Fei-jun immediately snorted and said, Ling Han, what nerve you have, daring not to pay respects after seeing the 3 great alchemists. The 3 alchemists were originally somewhat annoyed, feeling Ling Han was too conceited and unbridled. Hearing Cheng Fei-jun's words, they naturally became even more displeased with Ling Han. Their expressions instantly darkened. Ling Han looked at Cheng Fei-jun with disdain and said, Who the hell are you? What the hell does it have to do with you, whether I pay my respects or not? Since you abide by the rules so well, good, you can pay respects for me too. He paused for a breath, then cupped his hands and offered obeisance to the 3 alchemists, saying, 3 brother alchemists, I want to take the test for the earth grade. One stone raised 1,000 ripples. Everyone knew Ling Han wanted Cheng Fei-jun to kneel, and that the only way to win the wager was to become an earth grade alchemist. Yet hearing with their own ears that a 17-year-old youngster wished to become an earth-grade alchemist made everyone's scalps go numb. A true monster. Zhe Heixin was naturally brimming with confidence. Ling Han had refined a quasi-earth-grade foundation building pill while still in the element gathering tier, and now he had advanced into the gushing spring tier. Refining a true earth-grade medicinal pill was definitely not something difficult for him. After all, Ling Han had refined the foundation building pill with extreme ease back then. Not only did he form many of them, their quality even reached 13 stars. That was something only Earth-grade alchemists could do, or perhaps even only medium-level Earth-grade alchemists. Naturally, Hu Niu bared her teeth at the surrounding people, plainly furious. These fellows dared glare hostilely at Ling Han. Too detestable. The three Earth-grade alchemists were greatly shocked, a 17-year-old taking the test for Earth-grade hiss. In that instant, they felt as though they had aged. They could not help but be impressed. They already knew how young Ling Han was, yet seeing it with their own eyes still left them amazed. This youngster had not even shed his juvenility, his body not fully grown, and yet he was already a high-level black-grade alchemist, a single step away from crossing into the true ranks of the great bosses of alchemy. Who would have thought this child would speak so shockingly of becoming an Earth-grade alchemist? No wonder he paid respects as though to equals. Was it because he was certain he would succeed? However, taking the test for a higher level was every alchemist's basic right. No one could stop it, so the three alchemy masters exchanged looks before Long Yongzhang said, "Approved." But you've prepared your own materials? When taking the test as an Earth-grade alchemist, the materials must definitely be prepared personally. Otherwise, when the furnace explodes, who will bear the losses? It's prepared. Ling Han smiled. Those were needless words. If they were not his own materials, then the refined pill would have to be given to the Star Brilliance Palace Hall, and he would receive at most a small compensation, which would certainly be a tremendous loss. Then head to the refining room. Li Siyuan nodded. The three Earth-grade alchemists led the way, and the rest followed behind. A smirk curled at the corner of Cheng Fei-jun's mouth. He did not believe Ling Han had prepared enough materials, and believed even less that someone so young had the qualifications to become an Earth-grade alchemist. This was certainly Ling Han's youthful vigor and aggressiveness, staking everything. He was not afraid. They soon arrived outside the pill refining room. It differed from ordinary ones, having transparent walls. Yet once one stepped inside, one would be utterly unable to see the situation outside, and thus would not have to worry about it affecting pill refinement. The construction cost of this pill refining room was extremely high. First, it was used to test alchemists, allowing others to witness the process from outside. And second, it was for high-level alchemists to perform and showcase pill refinement. Ling Han stepped into the pill refining room without the slightest hesitation.